I never imagined the worst betrayal of my life would happen during a dinner meant to celebrate my biggest achievement. One minute I was smiling over a promotion I had spent years fighting for, and the next my younger sister rested her hand on her stomach, looked me straight in the eyes, and calmly announced that she was carrying my husband's baby. What shocked me most was not even the affair itself. It was the way both of them looked relieved while destroying my life, like they had been waiting for this moment for months. They expected me to fall apart in front of them. They expected tears, screaming, humiliation. What they did not expect was that I had a secret of my own, one that would change everything before the night was over. My name is Vanessa Carter. I was 29 years old when my marriage collapsed in the middle of an expensive Italian restaurant in downtown Austin, Texas. Until that night, I believed I had built a good life. I had a successful career, a beautiful condo, financial security, and a husband I thought loved me. I also believed family was sacred. I believed my little sister would always be my little sister no matter how different we were. Looking back now, I realize I spent years ignoring warning signs because I wanted peace more than truth. The day started perfectly. I had just been promoted to commercial director at the software company where I had worked since college. I spent for years climbing through impossible deadlines, office politics, sleepless nights, and 70-hour workweeks to reach that position. When my boss closed the office door and gave me the news, I almost cried right there in front of him. The raise alone was life-changing, but it was more than money. It felt like proof that every sacrifice had meant something. I called my husband Ethan first. He sounded distracted but congratulated me warmly enough. Then I called my younger sister Chloe. She screamed dramatically into the phone and immediately insisted we celebrate. I made reservations at Bella Rosa, one of the most expensive Italian restaurants in Austin. The kind of place where wealthy couples ordered wine without checking prices and waiters folded napkins like art projects. I wanted one perfect night with the people I loved most. I arrived first. I remember standing in front of the restaurant mirror adjusting the navy blue dress Ethan always said made me look elegant. I felt proud of myself for the first time in a long while. I had spent so many years grinding toward success that I rarely stopped to enjoy it. That night felt different. I thought maybe life was finally settling into place. Then Ethan and Chloe walked in together. At first, it only struck me as mildly strange. Chloe lived in San Antonio, almost 90 minutes away. Ethan claimed he had been working late. Yet somehow they arrived at the exact same time, smiling awkwardly like two nervous teenagers. Chloe hugged me too tightly. Ethan avoided eye contact completely. There was tension around them that I could not immediately explain, but I felt it the moment they sat down. We ordered wine. I started talking excitedly about the promotion, the salary increase, the possibility of leading international projects. Chloe listened with an intensity that suddenly made me uncomfortable. Ethan barely touched his glass. He kept folding and unfolding his napkin in his lap. Then Chloe interrupted me mid-sentence. Actually, we have news too. The way she said it made my stomach tighten instantly. Ethan looked pale. Chloe reached across the table and grabbed his hand. I am pregnant. For a second, I honestly thought I misunderstood her. The restaurant noise faded into the background. I stared at their hands locked together on the white tablecloth while my brain struggled to process what I was seeing. Pregnant, my sister was pregnant, and the father was my husband. Nobody moved, nobody spoke. I just sat there frozen while Chloe rubbed her stomach dramatically, even though there was barely any visible bump. Ethan finally cleared his throat and spoke in a shaky voice. We did not plan this, Vanessa, it just happened. Just happened, like betrayal was a thunderstorm or a car accident. Something random and unavoidable. Chloe leaned forward and lowered her voice like she was explaining something reasonable to a child. We fell in love. I know this is hard to hear, but you cannot control feelings forever. I remember staring at her face in complete disbelief. This was the same sister I helped pay through college when our parents struggled financially. The same sister who called me crying whenever another job failed or another relationship collapsed. I had defended her my entire life, and now she sat across from me smiling nervously while announcing she was sleeping with my husband. How long? I asked quietly. About 4 months, Chloe admitted. 4 months. For entire months of lies. That meant while I was staying late at the office chasing the promotion, they were sneaking around behind my back. Every business trip, every girl's weekend. Every time Ethan claimed he was working late, suddenly all of it made sense. Ethan finally looked at me directly. Say something. I noticed something strange in his expression then, relief. He looked relieved the secret was finally out. like confessing I'd freed him from some burden. "What exactly do you want me to say?" I asked. Chloe gave an uncomfortable little laugh. "Maybe congratulations. I mean ... there is a baby involved now. We are trying to handle this like adults." Adults, that word nearly made me laugh. Instead, I calmly picked up my purse, placed cash beside my untouched plate, and stood from the table. "I am going home." Ethan called my name as I walked away, but I never looked back. In the reflection of a decorative mirror near the exit, I saw Chloe leaning close to him, smiling. Actually smiling. That image stayed burned in my memory for months. Growing up, Chloe always hated living in my shadow. I did not fully understand it when we were kids, but I see it clearly now. I was the dependable daughter, the organized one, the straightest student who earned scholarships and internships and praise from teachers. Chloe was beautiful, charming, emotional, and impulsive. Our parents constantly protected her from consequences because she always seemed fragile somehow. No matter what I achieved, Chloe found ways to minimize it. When I earned a scholarship to the University of Texas, she claimed professors favored me. When I landed a job at a major tech company after graduation, she said corporate life was fake anyway. When I bought my condo at 25, she called me obsessed with money. The truth was simple: Chloe wanted the rewards without the discipline. She envied every stable thing I built because deep down she knew she lacked the patience to build it herself. Our parents unintentionally made it worse. They constantly compensated for my success by giving Chloe extra support. When I bought my first car, they helped Chloe buy one too, even though she barely held a job longer than 6 months. When my salary increased, they quietly paid part of her rent because they felt bad about the income difference. I worked constantly. Chloe drifted through life blaming everyone else. Then I met Ethan. At first, he felt like balance in my life. He was funny, relaxed, charming, and easygoing. He worked in luxury car sales and made decent money, though nowhere near what I earned. I did not care. I loved that he made stressful days feel lighter. He hated talking about finances, investments, or long-term planning, but I told myself not everyone needed to think the way I did. Now I realize Chloe noticed our financial imbalance long before I did. Whenever we went out together, she watched carefully when I paid expensive dinner bills or booked vacations. She once casually asked whether Ethan felt insecure earning less than me. At the time I brushed it off. Looking back, I think she was studying our marriage for weaknesses. When I arrived home after the dinner, the condo felt disturbingly normal. Ethan's shoes were still by the door. His favorite coffee mug sat beside the sink. His jacket still hung neatly in the closet. It felt impossible that life could explode while furniture and walls remained exactly the same. I sat on the couch in silence for hours. Around 2 in the morning, Ethan finally texted me. "Staying at Chloe Place tonight. We should talk tomorrow." Not even my sister anymore, Chloe Place. I barely slept. Every memory from the past for months replayed differently in my mind. Chloe suddenly visiting Austin more often. Ethan becoming distant physically. Strange late-night phone calls. Tiny details I ignored because trusting people felt easier than questioning them. The next morning my mother called 17 times before I finally turned my phone off completely. Chloe had obviously already contacted the family and painted herself as some tragic woman who fell in love under unfortunate circumstances. I spent most of the day numb. Around evening, Ethan came home to collect clothes. He still walked into the condo using his key like nothing had changed. He tried explaining while stuffing shirts into a suitcase. It was not intentional. Chloe was going through a rough time and we got close emotionally. Emotionally, I nearly lost my mind hearing that word. "How long have you been sleeping together?" I asked. "Since January." "For months exactly." I sat on the edge of the bed staring at the man I married, wondering how someone could lie so easily while pretending to love you every day. "I'm filing for divorce," I told him. He immediately tensed. "Vanessa, do not make this ugly. We can split things peacefully." Split things. That was the moment something cold settled inside me, because suddenly I understood. Ethan was not just leaving me for Chloe. He genuinely expected financial security from the divorce. He thought after years of contributing far less financially, he would still walk away with half my life. After he left, I called my best friend Lauren, a divorce attorney in Houston. I told her everything while pacing my living room in sweatpants and smeared mascara. Lauren listened quietly before asking one important question. "Please tell me you made him sign a prenup." For several seconds I said nothing. Then suddenly the memory hit me. The prenup. I had completely forgotten about it. For years earlier, before the wedding, my lawyer strongly encouraged me to protect my assets because I already owned property and investments. Ethan hated the idea at first. He claimed prenups were unromantic and pessimistic. Eventually he agreed because I insisted it was necessary. That night after hanging up with Lauren, I searched through the office inside my condo until I found the fireproof lockbox where I stored important documents. And there it was, the prenup. I sat on the floor reading every page carefully while adrenaline slowly returned to my body for the first time since the restaurant. Complete separation of assets, no claim to premarital property, no division of individual investments, protection against marital misconduct. There was even an infidelity clause. I almost started laughing. Ethan had signed everything without truly reading it because at the time he assumed divorce would never happen. The agreement was airtight, legally. Almost everything belonged solely to me. My condo, my investments, my savings, my business equity. Even better, the infidelity clause significantly limited any financial claim he might attempt during divorce proceedings. For the first time since the betrayal, I felt something besides grief. Relief. The next week became chaos. My parents begged me to forgive Chloe because there was a baby involved. My mother cried constantly on the phone about family unity. My father mostly stayed quiet, embarrassed by the entire situation. Ethan kept trying to convince me we could avoid lawyers. Then reality finally hit them. Lauren sent formal divorce paperwork along with a copy of the prenup agreement. Ethan called me furious that same night. "You knew this would destroy me financially." I actually laughed then because the hypocrisy was unbelievable. "Destroy you financially? You cheated on me with my sister." He tried arguing the prenup was unfair. Lauren shut him down immediately. The agreement was legally solid. He had signed voluntarily with legal representation available at the time. Meanwhile, Chloe became increasingly aggressive toward me. She sent long emotional texts accusing me of trying to ruin their future out of bitterness. She claimed love mattered more than money. Funny how people say that while demanding access to someone else's wealth. Then came the family dinner. My mother insisted we all meet to resolve things peacefully before the divorce finalized. Against my better judgment, I agreed because part of me still hoped there might be some shred of humanity left in everyone. There was not. Chloe arrived wearing a tight maternity dress even though she was barely showing. Ethan stayed glued to her side like some loyal servant. My mother spent most of dinner crying softly into napkins while my father avoided eye contact. Then Chloe made the mistake that changed everything. She smiled smugly across the table and said, "Maybe now you understand that money cannot buy love." Something inside me snapped. I calmly placed my wine glass down and looked directly at both of them. "Actually, there is something you should know." The table went silent. I explained the prenup slowly and clearly. Every clause, every protection, every legal detail Ethan ignored years earlier because he thought signing papers was just another wedding chore. The color drained from both their faces almost immediately. Ethan interrupted halfway through. "Wait, what are you saying exactly?" "I am saying you walk away with almost nothing." Complete silence. Chloe stared at me like she had been physically slapped. Ethan looked genuinely panicked for the first time since the affair started. Then I delivered the final blow. "And because your relationship began through adultery during the marriage, the infidelity clause eliminates several claims you might have tried making." My father actually whispered holy hell under his breath. Ethan started rambling immediately about technicalities and fairness. But Lauren had prepared me perfectly. I simply smiled and let him panic. The funniest part was realizing Chloe clearly expected Ethan to leave the marriage with substantial money. Suddenly her confidence vanished completely. For months she believed she was stealing my husband and my lifestyle simultaneously. Now she understood she only got the husband. The divorce finalized 6 months later. Ethan moved into a tiny apartment outside San Antonio because he could no longer afford Austin. Chloe gave birth to a baby boy 3 weeks early. From what relatives quietly told me later, reality hit them hard once the excitement of the affair disappeared. Bills piled up. Ethan worked constantly. Chloe hated being stuck at home with a newborn. Their relationship became toxic almost immediately because affairs built on fantasy rarely survive ordinary life. As for me, the first year after everything happened was brutal. I stopped trusting people easily. I buried myself in work. Some nights I still cried unexpectedly while driving home or folding laundry. Betrayal changes you permanently because it destroys the version of reality you once believed in. But slowly, life became peaceful again. I renovated my condo completely because I needed the space to stop feeling haunted. I traveled alone for the first time and discovered I actually loved solitude. My promotion opened doors I once thought impossible. 2 years later, I accepted an executive position in Seattle with nearly double the salary. The strangest part is that losing Ethan and Chloe eventually felt less like tragedy and more like surgery. Painful, yes, but necessary. Toxic people often remove themselves from your life the moment they stop benefiting from pretending to love you. The last time I saw Chloe was at our grandmother's funeral. She looked exhausted, older somehow. Ethan stayed in the car the entire time. She approached me quietly after the service ended. "I really thought he loved me more than he loved you," she admitted. I looked at her for a long moment before answering. A man willing to betray his wife with her sister is not capable of loving anyone properly. She started crying after that, but I felt nothing. Not anger, not satisfaction, just distance. Because by then, I finally understood something important. People who destroy others to build happiness for themselves usually end up standing in the ruins eventually.